Hi, and welcome to the overview of Project on Demand. Project on Demand is a full lifecycle project management toolset that comprises of collaborative workflow management and all the tools, management processes, and management information that you need to facilitate a successful project outcome. Project on Demand will guide you through 6 project phases that allow you to track, monitor, and control your project from its initial conception through to final implementation. When you log into Project on Demand, you are presented with all the projects that are currently in progress within your organization. Just select your required project and click the Enter button, or double-click on the required project, and the project dashboard will be displayed. As you can see, the project dashboard comprises of different sections. By clicking on the box icon, you have the options to visit the User Management tool or return to the project screen. If you click on the project name and phase next to the box icon, you can access the project details, which is an overview of the project's key information and project stakeholders, and you can also access your project maintenance functions. The Project Management toolset at the top of the dashboard allows you to effectively manage your project's schedule, budget, scope changes, management processes, risks, actions, issues, decisions, assumptions, constraints, dependencies, lessons, stakeholders, and project status reports from a single location. There is a detailed help video that describes how to use each of these tools. The box icon, the project name and phase, and the project management toolset are all visible and accessible from anywhere within your project. Underneath the project management toolset, you have the current phase progression tool, which you can use to monitor and control your project's workflow. Project on Demand's workflow splits the project into 6 phases: Startup, Initiation, Planning, Design, Execution, and Closure. Within each of the project phases, Project on Demand recommends a series of tasks that are based on industry best practice. For example, within the startup phase, one of the recommendations is to produce a project mandate. For more detailed help with understanding each of the project's phases, please refer to the Workflow Management help video. Underneath the current phase progression tool, you can find the My Pending Actions pane. These are the actions or tasks that have been assigned to you and are yet to be completed. To open the action, select it and click on the Edit button. You can also just double-click on it. You can also ensure your project stays on track by monitoring and controlling your project's risks, issues, assumptions, and constraints. For risks and issues, you can click the Toggle button to toggle the view between the 5 most important or the ones that are nearest their review dates. To view the full risk or issue, click on the Add symbol to the right of the risk or issue in the relevant pane. You can also double-click on the risk or issue to edit it. You can view your project's open actions by clicking on the Toggle button of the Assumptions pane, and you can view your project's unresolved dependencies by clicking on the Toggle button of the Constraints pane. You can collapse and expand each of the panes, except for the My Pending Actions pane, by clicking the blue bar at the top of the pane. Let's now take a quick look at the major parts of Project on Demand in a little more detail. We've already mentioned Project on Demand's workflow management system, and that it consists of 6 project phases: Startup, Initiation, Planning, Design, Execution, and Closure. By allowing Project on Demand to guide you through these 6 phases, you can ensure that you are always doing the right things. Most organisations have a limited budget for their projects, so choosing the right projects to undertake is really important. Within the startup phase, you can quickly develop your initial idea for the project by producing a project mandate. This enables you to effectively manage the demand for projects within your organisation, and of course avoid expensive projects that may not be required. Ensuring that your project has a viable business case is vital. Within the initiation phase, you can develop your scope statement and business case before you commit large amounts of money to the project. Probably the number one reason for the failure of a project is the lack of a requirements specification. Within the planning phase, you can easily gather all the requirements for your project, avoiding expensive mistakes further down the road. Having produced a great requirements specification in the planning phase, the solution design is easy. You can also use the traceability tool to ensure that your solution design covers all the requirements for the project. To build, test, and implement your project, you can easily define work packages and test plans that can be allocated to your project team within the execution phase. That just leaves the closure phase of your project, where you can review the lessons learned. When this phase is complete, the project is closed. In each of the phases, the status of each task is indicated by the icons next to them, which helps you to easily identify which tasks need addressing and which are complete. For more information regarding how to create, review, and approve the documents within your project, please refer to the help video for your specific document. Now that we've talked about Project On Demand's workflow, let's have a quick look at how to get started by adding a new project. If you are not already on the project's screen, click on the box icon in the top left of the screen and select the Projects option from the menu. To add your new project, click on the New button and enter your project's title and description. Assign individuals to your team as stakeholders to your project by clicking the boxes next to their names in the Create Stakeholder column. You can also assign a project manager by checking the boxes in the Is Project Manager column. You can then add a start date, which is optional. When you're finished, click the Save button. As you can see, your new project has been added as not started. To enter the project, either select the project and click the Enter button, or double-click on the project. Now that you've entered your new project, you may wish to configure your project's workflow to meet your requirements. From the dashboard, click on the project's title and select Project Maintenance. Within the project information pane, if you click the Edit button, you can change the project's title and description, change the status of the project, flip between project phases, and change the project's start date. Within the current phase progression pane, you can configure your project's workflow for the current phase. For example, if you do not wish to perform a specific task, just set it to not required by selecting the task, clicking the Edit Status button, and selecting Not Required from the drop-down menu. You can also set tasks to Not Started, In Progress, and Complete. When you've chosen the status of the task, click Save to set the task to that status. Within the Project Management Processes pane, you can manually set the status of each process to either Not Started, In Progress, Reviewed, Approved, Rejected, or Not Required. Just select the process, click the Edit Status button, select the status from the drop-down menu, and click on Save. Before you can really get started, you might need to add some users to the system. To add a new user to Project On Demand, click on the box icon in the top left of the screen and select the Users option from the menu. Click on the New button and then enter your current password, the new user's email address and confirmation, their name and account type. When you're done, click Save and the new user will be created. Before the new user can log in, the account must be verified for security reasons. An email is sent to the new user containing a link so that the account can be verified. Once you've added all the required users to the system, you now need to assign them to your project as stakeholders. It might be useful at this stage to define what a stakeholder is. A stakeholder is anyone involved in the project that requires access to Project on Demand. For security reasons, if you are not assigned as a stakeholder on a project, you are unable to access the project. To assign a user as a project stakeholder, click on the project's title and then select Project Maintenance. Under the Maintenance tools, select Stakeholder Management. Click on New and select the user who you wish to assign as a project stakeholder. When you've selected the user, click Create. If you wish to configure the stakeholder immediately, click Create and Edit. If you want to add the stakeholder but configure them later, just click Create. If you clicked Create and Edit to configure the stakeholder, you will enter the stakeholder screen. Here you can change the stakeholder details, assign roles to the stakeholder, and set up access rights. For more information about how to configure your project's stakeholders, please refer to the Stakeholder Management Help video. So, after having created and configured your project, and added your new users and assigned them as project stakeholders, you are all set up and ready to go. Thanks for taking this short tour of Project on Demand. I hope you found it useful.